I came in and took over in 1 May, the organization was there. The repair facilities were there, the command facilities were there. The big difference was there was over control. And the very first order that I put out was, henceforth, the on-scene commander has tactical command. You don't call in the headquarters to find out whether you can shoot or not. You will have command. I did add one word, you better damn well use it. So things changed very rapidly, and they become more of a, I would have to describe a passive organization offshore into a very active organization. But I do want to emphasize that we couldn't possibly have asked for more senior command support. We had no flag officers in tactical command in the Navy organization. Nevertheless, General Westmoreland and his relief, General Great Abrams, they would invite us into the Field Force Commanders conferences. 3 stars, in other words, Army, and then us, we were sitting back in Peanut Haven, but we weren't at the main table. But we were there, and we weren't ignored. They would ask our opinion and so forth. So there, as far as the Saigon support, it was there. Now, if you were on a boat, you had an engine down, and you didn't get support right away, I can understand where somebody put it. But in reality, we had really excellent repair facilities, and if you could salvage the boat number, that boat would get repaired and would keep it. The only boats we lost that were those that were totally destroyed. The ones that were sunk and so forth, salvage came in, pulled them up, and put them back into operation. And the food, logistics support, tremendous. What we didn't get from the Army, the fleet support, ships coming up from South China Sea to the north, helicopters that fly us in fresh fruits and vegetables. One of the biggest complaints that I had from the Swift boats was they didn't get enough hamburger. The reason why is because the Army would have the leftover steaks and frying beef and so forth, not enough for 40,000 troops, but they turned over the Navy. So, I think Charlie would support me on that. We didn't have any problem as far as getting support, not only in logistics of food and all that, ammunition and what have you. I will point out one thing. The Army helicopters loved to rearm aboard our LSTs because they could get armor piercing. And for some reason or another, the Army didn't have that. So that's just some of the side comments. And but I walked into a well-oiled organization, one that was pretty passive, in fact. But we changed that. Okay.
Yeah, they certainly did change when the Admiral Hoffmann came. And let me just talk again about this decentralization of command. As opposed to our Navy today, in the organization, the way I'm looking at it as a retired naval officer, it's a lot, we ask a lot of permission, request permission to fire, request permission. Back then in Vietnam, when we were there, we decentralized that. It was, if you had time, you could go out with what we call the you-know-dear, unless otherwise directed, say. Now that's a nice little phrase because it kind of protected the guy that wanted to take the action. But if anybody wanted to stop him, he could certainly stop us. But that made a heck of a lot of difference. As the Admiral said, we were there. We came in. It was we all wore khakis. We didn't wear the fatigues. Then they slept on white sheets and so forth. The game changed. We went on the offensive thanks to Admiral Zumwalt and of course General Abrams, And that's really that's swung it around. And as far as cooperation goes, you know, the operations that I was OTC on, I had a lot of cooperation with the Army, of course, and the helicopters and the Coast Guard. They were good. But the big difference was this decentralization, which, according to Charlie Plumly today, we don't have. We might be better off with it, but anyway, we don't have it. But that did the trick for us in Vietnam.